We are going to start with practice set 2.2, first question, which is this practice set is very easy if you know all the concept of parallel lines and properties and tests of parallel lines. So for the first question is in figure 2.18, which is this figure, y is equal to 108 degrees and x is equal to 71 degrees. We have to find out that are the lines M and N parallel, and we have to justify. So first thing you have to see is watch the figure properly, because as soon as you will watch the figure, that time you will understand what do you have to do exactly. Okay, no need to get confused by reading the question. Sometimes figure sorts it out everything. So here it is given that two angles x and y have measurement. X is having measurement 71 degrees and y is having measurement 108 degrees, and we have to prove line M is parallel to line N. Okay, so for that we don't have to prove, they have just asked whether line M is parallel to line N or no. So in given part, always write given. So that means the examiner will be able to give you marks properly. So the given part is angle X is equal to 71 degree and angle Y is equal to 108 degree. And we have these two data, that's it. And we have to find whether line M is parallel to line N or no, right? So in solution, first thing you have to know is that X and Y make which type of angle. So if you watch carefully, they make a letter C which is ulta. That means they are interior angle. Interior angles are always on the interior side and they are lying on the one side. That means one direction of the transversal. So this is left hand side and this is right hand side, and both the interior angles are on left hand side. So that means these two angles make a pair of interior angles. And from the property of parallel lines, we already know that interior angles are supplementary. So if these two angles addition, if we are going to get equal to 180 degree, that means 180 degree. So that means these two lines will be parallel, because that test is been proved right. If they are not equal to, if the addition is not equal to 180 degree, that means these two lines are not parallel, because that test is proved wrong. So let us, and we have both the measurement, so let us see whether it is equal to 180 degree or no. That means they are supplementary or no. So angle X plus angle Y is equal to, so for that you have to put a measurement of X plus 71 degree plus measurement of Y is 108 degree. So you have to add 8 plus 1 is 9, 7 plus 0 is 7, and 1 is over here. So it's 179 degree. So is it X plus Y, is it equal to 180 degree? No, it is just 1 degree lesser. So that means the interior angle test which is there, that has been proved wrong. So that means line M is not parallel to line N. So we have to justify also. Justify means what? We cannot give directly the reason that line M is not parallel to line N. Why is it not parallel? That we have to give the reason. Since angle X plus angle Y are not equal to 180 degree, therefore, write on the other line, therefore line M is not parallel to line N. Interior angles of parallel lines are always supplementary. And here, because they are not supplementary, x plus y is not equal to 180 degree. That's why M is not parallel to line N. So we have even justified why M is not parallel to N. This was question number 1 and it is very, very easy as you have seen. So this kind of question can come in the exam and you can easily get full marks. So let us solve second question of the practice set. So the second question is, in figure 2.19, which is this figure, if angle A is congruent to angle B, this angle is congruent to angle B, then we have to prove that line L is parallel to line M. First thing you have to do is, whenever they have given that you have to prove, 3 things you have to write down: given, to prove, and proof. Okay, that means we have given proper proof to prove whether line L is parallel to line M or no. So looking at the question, you have to first write down what is given. So what data is given? Angle A is congruent to angle B. So that you have to write down. Then we have to prove that. Already everything is given. You have to just write into statement. You have to prove that line L is parallel to line M. So to prove line L parallel to line M, that we have to prove. Now to write down the solution, you have to write down proof. Okay, so if you write down all these 3 statements, you are going to get full marks and nobody is going to cut your marks. It should be systematic. Even if you don't know how to write down the proof, even if you write down these 2 points and proof, then also you will get half marks or 1 marks, whatever marks are been allotted. So don't forget to write down this. Now if you see properly, angle A and angle B make exterior alternate angles or alternate exterior angles, and we have already studied in the property of parallel lines that alternate angles, when they are congruent, that time the 2 lines which are there, they are parallel. So easily we can write down angle A, it is already given, angle A is congruent to angle B. So we can write down by alternate angle test, L is parallel to M. But it will be just proof of 2 lines and they won't give you full marks then. So we are going to prove indirectly. So don't get confused. So when alternate angles are given, it is always better to prove this proof, like line L is parallel to line M, by giving the corresponding angle test. And when corresponding angles are given congruent, then prove by alternate angle test. And it is very easy. So why I am going to prove by longer method? Because sometimes the marks are given more. So if we write down 2 lines proof, then they won't give you full marks. Okay. So first thing what I am going to do is, I am going to consider an angle over here. Okay. And this angle, we'll name it as angle C, because we already have angle A and angle B. So I'll give this name angle as angle C. So in proof also you have to write down, consider angle C in the given figure. Okay, it is always better to write down whatever you do changes in the figure, because if you don't write down, what examiner, they get chance to cut your marks. So always write down whatever changes you do. So we have taken angle C in the given figure. Now can you see angle A and angle C are vertically opposite angles, or opposite angles, exactly opposite angles. So we have already learned in the property of lines that whenever 2 lines intersect like this, we get vertically opposite angles or opposite angles, and we already know that opposite angles are always congruent. So angle A and angle C are exactly opposite angles, and that's why angle A and angle C will be exactly equal. Okay, so we are going to write down that angle A is congruent to angle C. Why? So you have to give the reason also, because they are opposite angles. Okay, and give this equation as equation number 1. Okay, now can you see, after we take angle C also, we can see that angle C is equal to angle B. Why? It is not equal to angle B, but angle C and angle B and angle C make a letter which is letter F, proper F. It is not even ulta. So you can see here, both this angle make letter F. So angle B and angle C form which pair of angle? Yes. So letter F is formed by corresponding angle. So angle B and angle C form corresponding angles. And we already know that A is congruent to angle B. How? It is already given in the question itself. So we already know angle A is congruent to angle B. So give this equation as equation number 2 and write the reason as given. Okay, always write the reason given because we are not taking it on our own. Okay, we are not somewhere from heaven we have taken this assumption. It is already given. So we are not taking any blame. Okay, so angle A is equal to angle B. So from equation 1 and 2, what do we get? If LHS of the equation is equal, angle A, then what will happen to the RHS? RHS will also become congruent or equal. So from equation 1 and equation 2, what do we get? Angle C is congruent to angle B. Now, like I said, angle C and angle B make pair of corresponding angles. You can see here F has been made by these two angles. So if C is congruent to angle B, that means what? Corresponding angles are congruent, and corresponding angles are always congruent when the two lines are parallel. So from this final statement, can we prove, therefore, line L is parallel to line M? How? By corresponding angle test. Okay, so because C is congruent to B and C and B are corresponding angles, therefore line M is parallel to line M by corresponding angle test. So this is as simple as that. It is very simple proof, but we can, like I said, we can directly say also angle B is congruent to angle A, and by exterior alternate angle test, line M is parallel to line L. But that will be very short proof. So by using this is 2-3 lines extra, but we will get extra marks. So this is the proper proof. So this was the second sum. Let us do third sum. So the third sum is in figure 2.20, which is this figure. If angle A is congruent to angle B, this angle is congruent to this angle, and angle X is congruent to angle Y. That means this angle which is shown in the figure, X, is congruent to angle Y. Then we have to prove that line L, that means this line, is parallel to line N. So these two lines are parallel to each other, that we have to prove. And it is very, very simple. When such kind of figure is given, you don't have to get confused that this line is given, this line is given, this so many lines are given. Don't get confused. It is very easy. Okay. So first of all, you have to write down given. So what all things are given? Angle A is congruent to angle B and angle X is congruent to angle Y. What do we have to prove? To prove that line L is parallel to line N. Okay. Now start writing proof. First we have to take whatever data is been given. Angle A is congruent to angle B. Okay. Don't get confused from where to start. First take this data and write down it is given. If it is given, you have to check whether A and B are where exactly they lie in the figure. So if I tilt this figure like this, and angle A and B I find out over here, which are attached to line L and M. So I'll block the other part of the figure so that there is no confusion. Always when you do it in the exam, you do this method so that you don't get confused with the other rest of the figure. So now A and B are attached to line L and M, so I only keep that part of the figure. So if I observe line L and M and this line K, I'll write down over here also. K is given for this line, so I'll write down here also same line. So we have this figure, line L, line M, and this is the transversal which intersects line L and M at 2 points, and angle B is congruent to angle A. Now look at the figure carefully, and can you see angle A and angle B make which pair of angles? If you watch carefully, they trace letter F again. Okay, and it is already given in the data that angle A is congruent to angle B. And what do we know? We know that corresponding pair of angles are congruent when both the lines, line M and L, will be parallel. Only in the parallel line, corresponding pairs of angle are congruent. So we have to write down angle A is congruent to angle B. Therefore, line L is parallel to line M. Okay, why these two lines are parallel? Because angle B and angle A make corresponding pair of angles. So, by corresponding angle test, as angle A and angle B are corresponding angles. Okay, now take second data. Now what is second data? Angle X is congruent to angle Y. Now this part is given. So as soon as we get this thing proved, we have already proved that line L is parallel to line M by using which data? This data which is already given. So give this equation as equation number 1, because this thing we have proved new. Okay, newly we have proved this. Now this is also, this data, second data is already given, so write down given. Now you see in the diagram where does angle X and angle Y lie, and whatever they are attached to, keep that part of the figure and block the other part of the figure. Okay, now let us do that so that there is no confusion. So angle X and angle Y are attached to line M and line N. See, so I'll block this line L. So if I see properly, line M and line N, to line M and line N, X and Y angle are attached. And if you see properly, watch properly, line X, angle X and angle Y, they make one pair of angle. They trace one, they make a alphabet. And which is that alphabet? Alphabet Z. So if you consider these two line and this line which is there, slightly tilted line, if you consider this line as a transversal, don't consider this line now. Okay, just consider this line, because angle X and angle Y are attached to this line. So don't consider this extra line and don't get confused. So wherever these angles are attached, you have to consider. So if you see carefully, after blocking this part, then X and Y angle make letter Z, and that means X and Y are alternate interior angles. That means they are on the opposite side, first thing. And second thing is they are interior side of these two lines. So it is already given in the question that X is congruent to Y. X is already congruent to Y. And when the interior angles are congruent, when they are in the parallel lines. So if X is congruent to Y, that means line M is parallel to line N. Okay, ultimately it becomes that. So here I have already written that if angle X is congruent to Y, which is already given in the question, therefore line M is parallel to line N. So by which test? By alternate angle test, because X and Y make alternate angle. So I have written here as angle X and angle Y are alternate interior angles. So that's why M is parallel to N. Now here I have given equation 2, because this we have newly proved. Now look at equation 1 and equation 2 and see what is there. Line L is parallel to line M, that we have proved first. These two lines are parallel. And in second equation, line M is parallel to line N, that we have proved second. So what will happen now? If line L is parallel to M and M is parallel to N, finally what we will get? Line L will be parallel to N. So this is like what? If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, ultimately what happens? A is equal to C. So similar things happen over here. So we have to write down from equation 1 and equation 2, we get line L parallel to line N. Okay. And you have to write down hence proved. So from 1 and 2 we get if L is parallel to M and M is parallel to N, finally L becomes parallel to N. So this was very easy. Okay. So when such type of diagram is given, don't get confused. Okay. Block the other part which you don't need and then see which type of angle it is, the corresponding angles or alternate angles. And by this all test, if you apply, you're going to prove the theorem or whatever part is given to be proved. Okay. We'll do the next sum, which is fourth sum now. This is also very, very easy. In figure 2.21, so this is the figure which looks very horrible, but don't get confused. It is very easy. In figure 2.21, if ray BA is parallel to DE, if ray BA, if you can see here, this is parallel to ray DE. These two lines are parallel. Okay. Angle C is equal to 50 degree. So this angle C is equal to 50 degree and angle D is equal to 100 degree. Find the measure of angle ABC. So you have to find out this measurement. I'll mark with purple color. You have to find out measurement of this angle. This is question mark. Okay. Your hint has been given. So if you look at the diagram, you will get scared that what kind of diagram is this? How am I going to prove that? But don't get scared. Like I said, you can prove anything, whatever you want. And also your hint is given, draw a line passing through point C. So we have to draw a line which is passing through point C and parallel to line AB. So we have to draw a line which is exactly parallel to line AB like this. And it should pass point C. So I'll do the construction by using scale and by using pencil first. I'll keep the book like this and I'll draw the construction. I'll draw a line which is passing through point C. Always construction you draw in dotted line because examiner will easily understand that that is the part of construction. So you can see here this line which is there, it is passing through point C and it is exactly parallel to AB. So I'll give this name, this line as line PQ. So why I have given the name, you will understand it shortly. It is always better to give name because the construction part, whatever is there, we have to write it in the given or proof part. Because if you don't write down, the examiner is going to cut marks. Okay. So first write down given part. What is given? Ray BA is parallel to ray DE. So first thing that is given, ray BA is parallel to ray DE. Angle C is 50 degree. Angle C equal to 50 degree. Angle D is equal to 100 degree. And next thing is given, find the measure of angle ABC. So write down to find, because that thing we have to find out. To find angle ABC is equal to question mark. Now in solution, you write down the construction part. Or construction part you can write down with different heading. Construction, that will be better. So examiner will understand that you know that you have done the construction. Draw line, which line? PQ, line PQ. That's why I have given the name to the line, so that examiner understands that we have given the name PQ, line PQ to this line. So line PQ passing through point C and it is, and PQ, sorry, line PQ which we have drawn is parallel to what? They have already given. It should be parallel to line AB. So PQ is parallel to AB. Okay, now in solution, you have to use this construction which we have done. Okay, so first thing what you have to do is, before you prove, we don't know this angle, so it is always better to use the data which is already given. So you can see here we already have one angle, so we can make use of this angle and this angle which is given. So don't first use this line AB parallel to PQ. Okay, so first use the data which is given. You can see here first it is ray BA is parallel to DE. Okay, so write down, in first thing you have to write down ray BA parallel to ray DE. It is already given. Okay, in reason you have to write down it is given and give it equation number 1. Second thing you have to do is, you have to write down, by construction we have done that ray BA is parallel to line PQ. That is already we have done in the construction, line PQ parallel to AB. So write down line PQ parallel to line AB. Okay, AB or BA, it is same. So I'll write down BA because that will be better. Now you have to write your construction. From construction and give equation number 2. So from 1 and 2, if you see ray BA, that means you can consider it as line also. Okay, ray BA parallel to DE. BA is parallel to DE and BA is parallel to PQ. So here also this thing is there, A parallel to B and A parallel to C. So that means C will become parallel to B ultimately. A is parallel to B and A is parallel to C. So that means C becomes parallel to B. Okay, so we have to write down from equation 1 and equation 2. You can see here these two things are equal. So if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, that means C will be equal to A ultimately. So ray DE parallel to line PQ. Okay, so these two things become parallel. So once we get this this thing proved, so on next page also I have drawn the same diagram for you all, so that while writing the next proof over here you all don't get confused. So what did we recently get? We got that ray DE parallel to line PQ. Okay, so this is a very important proof. Now once we get this, we can use this information to find out the question mark part. So how we are going to do that? Because if we have this line DE parallel to line PQ, we can use these two lines and use this angle which is given 100 degree, and we can find out the other angles. Okay, because here the data is already given, here there is no question mark. Okay, so we'll use this. So if you see properly, line DE is parallel to line PQ, or ray DE is parallel to line PQ, and if you consider this line, short line DC, as a transversal which is cutting ray DE at point D and line PQ at point C. So if you see, then this angle is making letter Z with this angle, this whole angle which is there over here. Okay, so these two are the parallel lines, and this angle will be alternate angles. Okay, and if we have alternate angles in a parallel line, what are they? They are congruent to each other. All the alternate angles in a parallel lines as well as corresponding angles are congruent to each other. So this angle and this angle are interior alternate angles, and that's why they are congruent to each other. So I'll mark here in pink color. So this angle which is there and this angle which is there, it makes Z. You can see here Z. So this is the parallel line and this is the parallel line and this is a transversal, and these two angles make alternate interior angles, and that's why they are congruent to each other. So we can write down over here the angle names is EDC, and this angle name is PCD. Okay, so angle EDC is congruent to angle PCD. That means this pink color angle PCD. Why they are congruent to each other? Interior angles of, not interior angles, sorry, alternate angles. Don't make silly mistake while writing, otherwise your marks will get cut. Okay, alternate angles of parallel lines. Now we already know EDC is given as 100 degree, that means angle D. It is already given in the data also, and we have written in the given also. So EDC means what? Angle D only. So if that is 100 degree, so that means PCD will be what? That will be also 100 degree. So angle PCD is also equal to 100 degree. Okay. Given angle D is equal to 100 degree. Okay. So if angle D, that means ECD, angle D is also EDC. Okay, angle D and EDC, angle EDC, this is the full form of the angle and this is the short form. Both are 100 degree. That's why PCD also becomes equal to 100 degree, because both angles are congruent. So give this equation as equation number 1. Sorry, not 1. This is equation number 2. 1 and 2 equation we have already given earlier. Now if you observe PCD very carefully, PCD, the whole angle is combination of two small angles. This is one angle and this is another angle. So you can see here, can we write down PCD whole angle as the sum of both the angles? So in place of PCD, I'll write down here only, in place of PCD, I'll write down two small angles, PCB, that means this angle, and BCD. Okay, so PCB plus angle BCD, and again it is equal to what? 100 degree. In place of PCD, we have written the summation of two small angles. Now you can see here BCD, we already know it is 50 degree. That means angle C, which was given in the data, BCD. So in place of BCD, can we write down 50 degree? So write down PCB as it is. BCD is equal to 50 degree, equal to 100 degree. So now 50 degree, I'll transfer it on other side to find out angle PCB. Angle PCB is equal to 100 degree minus 50 degree. Okay, so 100 minus 50 is what? 50 degree. So PCB is also equal to 50 degree. That we get from this equation. Now once we have this angle, I'll mark this angle as also equal to 50 degree. We get this angle equal to 50 degree. Now we can use this two lines to find out this angle, because we already know now this angle. So I'll use this two line because we already know when we did this construction, what did we do? We drew a line which is parallel to BA. So ray BA is already parallel to line PQ. Okay, so we'll write down ray BA is parallel to line PQ. Okay, we have done it in what? Construction. This was the construction. Now if we consider these two lines, then we will not consider this third line because it is already over. We have taken this data. So we'll just consider these two lines. So when these two lines are parallel, what will become to this line? This small line, which is that tilted line, that will become a transversal. Okay, so these two lines are parallel, and this angle, which is question mark, we have to find out, and this angle 50 degree, which we have found out right now. These two angles make which angle? Can you see properly and tell me? Yes, they both make pair of interior angles. So both these interior angles are on one side of the transversal, as well as they are interior to these two parallel lines. So they make pair of interior angles, and we already know these two lines are parallel. And in a parallel lines, what is the property of interior angles? Interior angles are always supplementary. That means sum of both this angle will be equal to 180 degree. So we are going to write down sum of these two angles. So sum of these two angles is ABC, that means this purple color dot angle, and plus angle PCB, that means this 50 degree angle will be equal to 180 degree. Okay, so write down angle ABC plus angle PCB equal to 180 degree. Why they are equal to 180 degree? Because interior angles are supplementary. Now what is PCB? Can you just see two lines up? We have found out PCB equal to 50 degree. It is already there in the diagram also. So it is better if you give this equation as equation number 4. So we can write down PCB equal to 50 degree, and from where did we get equation number 4? Okay. So I'll again start, because this was interior angle test. I have written it in pink color. Now write down ABC as it is, because we don't know the measurement of ABC. We have to find out. It is question mark. Angle PCB is what? 50 degree equal to 180 degree. Write down like that. So angle PCB equal to 50 degree. So for the part, you have to also write down PCB is equal to 50 degree from equation 4. Okay, it's better if you mention from which equation we have taken. Now the next thing we have to do is to find out ABC. We have to take 50 degree on other side. So here it is plus, here it will be minus. 180 minus 50 is 130 degree. So like that we get measurement of question mark angle, that is angle ABC equal to 130 degree. So this is how we find out. So when you get such type of diagram, don't get confused or don't get worried that now how are we going to solve this kind of sum. It is really very easy. If you take all the given things first, start with whatever is given, and then slowly find out what is the to find part. Okay, whatever we have to find out, slowly by given part you have to find out whatever you have to find out, or to find part, or whatever they have told us to find out.